What is yoga?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was the definition through what we talked about briefly before the camera was on, through Patanjali, right? Through that lens of philosophy, which is yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodhah. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuation of the mind.
Feel for you. A cessation of the fluctuation of the mind. So calming or stilling of the mind.
Mm-hmm. That's a well-known definition that I align with. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. One of my teachers has said, yoga is the state where nothing is missing, which I also really like.
Where nothing is missing. It's kind of like, I think of monkey mind in Eastern traditions. It's like calming that monkey mind. I also think of meditation. It's a form of meditation. Is it a form of meditation?
I mean, it's all inclusive, right? You know, that's part of the yoga practice, right? Is meditation.
What are other parts of it?
I mean, if we're talking about Hatha yoga and this sort of 8-limb path that I briefly mentioned earlier, well, I guess to me, that's kind of a hard question. Like, what are the other parts of it? Because it depends on the perspective that you're looking through.
Is movement part of yoga?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure somebody is going to argue with me on that.
Yeah, let them.
I guarantee.
Bring it. So someone could do yoga without moving their body,
yes,
is what someone's going to say.
Well, that's true also.
You can do yoga without moving your body?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, goodness. I thought yoga was the moving the body.
Moving the body as asana.
That's asana.
Yeah, asana is the postures, yeah. The seat that we take.
But that's not yoga itself.
No.
Yoga is a cessation of the fluctuations of the mind.
Or yoga is an experience, right? It's not something that can be visually. You can't see it with your eyes.
Really?
I mean, you can see someone practicing yoga.
But it happens within them.
Right.
They have an experience of yoga.
That's what I think.
But you could also not know. They could just be sitting there.
Well, that's something I've said a lot.
Having yoga.
That's what I've said a lot to like students, is that there are people who I think are yogis, like, well, yogis, but who I think of as like someone who sort of embodies that energy of what like a yoga practice would bring, but they don't practice yoga. You know, like if you asked, I'm thinking of someone in particular in my life, do you practice yoga? They might say like, oh yeah, a little bit, not really, but every once in a while I put in my VHS tape or, you know, whatever. But to me, the person I'm thinking of is like I aspire to be that loving and like centered and gracious and grounded, you know?
Like they've stumbled upon enlightenment or found some other avenue there.
Well, yeah. And I'm not going to reveal about this person. Like, I know what their practices are.
Okay, yeah. They had some pathway.
Yes.
Some kind of formal or...
Yeah. That's working for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Is enlightenment, is that synonymous? Like there's some... Are we doing yoga to achieve something? Is there like a transpersonal or transcendental outcome?
I mean, I think whether or not someone is doing yoga to achieve something is an individualized question. But if you're asking if I'm doing yoga to achieve something, I think that it is very difficult to become enlightened, like in this world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I know anyone that's enlightened, doubtful. I think maybe we can have like glimpses of that, you know, but they're, in my experience, like very brief, like so brief, you know. But I I just want to be, I just want to be like the best person that I can be. And what I mean by that is like, I don't want to be angry. I don't want my mind, to be all over the place to the point where it affects my behavior and my choices. And for me, yoga is a helpful tool in that.
Yeah.
And also, of course, everyone is angry and everyone's mind goes all over the place.
Anger is a part of the human experience,
Yes,
right?
right.
So there's some way of being with it in a healthy way.
Yes. Yeah.